hockeyreviews.ca, and this is my Brown 2400-2200 chest protector review. I really suggest you check out the written portion of it because I go into a lot of detail of why I ended up purchasing this chest instead of the competitors. A quick summary of that was I was looking for about 6 years for a new chest protector, and every time a new retail model came out I was more excited, and every time it came out I was extremely disappointed, so eventually I just went with this. So this chest itself is the Bobrovsky Spec, and what that means is that it is NHL legal. As you can see, the segments here, it has NHL level of protection, so it's the same chest that Bobrovsky gets. And sorry, it's called the Russian Spec, not the Bobrovsky Spec, but it's the same specs that Sergei Bobrovsky actually gets in the NHL. So these are like these caps right here normally wrap around more in the non-NHL spec. This one, it's smaller but just as protective. It's just it just takes up less coverage. So because of that, this model is a little more expensive. So I said this was a 2400 and 2200 because there were some features that I wanted off from one and that wasn't on the other. I really wanted rib and armpit coverage, which I can't remember which model it was on, but it was a specific one, and I wanted the one-piece design here, which was a different one. So I asked them for the custom, I asked Brown through a phone call if I could get these features put in, and they did so that was really great. So I've used this since Christmas. The turnaround time was ridiculously fast. I don't know if it was always like that. It took them less than a week from me paying them to actually building it and arriving at my door. So I'm not sure if that's how it always is, but that was my experience. So everything of this chest has been custom tailored to my size. There's a video on their website, and that will be linked in my written review of how to size yourself up. And it does a really good job of basically everything. So this fits extremely well and is designed specifically to my body. With that said, I don't think that there's any sizing on here like large, XL or anything like that, and it's always custom made specifically to you, which is great. So because I've used it since December, I can't really totally comment on the durability of it yet because it's still not that far in, and you'd expect every piece of equipment to still be usable from now until December, but so far it's been excellent in terms of that. So the chest itself is, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, it's heavy and it's hot. When I was looking for a chest protector, I was looking for protection first and foremost. If people actually know me, they kind of think of me as the wimpy hockey player that will be decked out in as much protection as possible. I don't want to feel shots, I just want to be able to stop them without worrying about, am I going to get a bruised shoulder, is it going to hurt my forearm, is it going to hurt my chest. Before, with my old chest protector, every time I was in the reverse VH, I'd get pucks all along here, and it would leave bruises, and it would like numb my arm. And so I was looking for something where I could be comfortable in whatever way I was, whatever position I was, whatever save I was making, and not have to worry about that anymore. And I really found that in this. Brown is a smaller company, so you won't really see them out in the wild as much anymore. But I do like how they're made in Canada still, made a smaller shop. The customer service was amazing. I called them up and talked to them about everything, had some questions. They're really good through email. There's a sizing sheet that you fill out, so that's all great. Now, like I said, this is heavy, it's hot, it doesn't use futuristic materials like foams, like perforated foams, or like curved composites, stuff like that. But like I said, I was looking for protection. While that's a negative if you're looking for a super mobile chest, for me, I found this doesn't restrict motion or movement when I'm actually playing. And it's improved my performance in game. But if you're looking for something that may be a little more streamlined, like the Vaughn Velocity series, which isn't the most protective, but it lets you move better, then maybe that will be for you. But for me, this was perfect. Yes, I would prefer it to be run a little cooler, but that's such a minor complaint for how great it's been for me. that I don't really care. So the other one thing that I'm not that I'm not happy, but I wish I did differently, was just the length of the bottom. It slips out of my pants, and later on in the video I'll cut to me wearing it and I'll show you with the pants what the issue is. I just wish the block, like this part down here, was a little longer so it would stay inside my pants because I tuck. He also asks if you tuck your pants in or if you leave them untucked because he changes the length of them. Also, I wish this, if you can, hopefully you can see how this foam and plastic right here is smaller than the one above and below it. I wish this was the full size. That was an option on one of the models. I can't remember which one, and I just wish it was 3 normal size ones there. It's made so it doesn't get bunched up with your cup, but again, I just wish it was a little bit longer there. The only place I've ever felt shots on this has been actually right around here. It doesn't hurt at all like it has before, but I'm like, oh, I can feel that there, but I never felt it anywhere else. I wonder why that is. It's just because of how this is. It's a super minimal complaint, and I'm not worried about my protection at all. So one thing, like I said, I was looking for was the side protection here, and when I cut to the other portion of me wearing it, you'll see how well this wraps your side body. And because I'm a pretty big guy, I'm not the most mobile goalie. I've tried to be more positional, and a lot of the times that leaves like me hugging posts, and this does a great job of covering those spaces and not actually letting it bounce in as well, which is something I'll get to later on. But this was, like I said, this was a very big part of why I wanted this chest, was how big and beefy the side here was. I chose the one-piece heart guard just because I wanted more protection, no gaps here. Probably could have gone with 2. This heart guard is really lively. Pucks bounce off this pretty good, so you gotta watch out for that. It does catch me off guard once in a while, but I've been getting pretty good at like trapping it off of it with my glove anyways, and just being more ready for it. So that's the one thing. I was also going to buy a Maltese neck guard when I was looking for a chest because I wanted the ultimate protection. Brown offers a built-in neck guard, and that solved that issue for the Maltese. That's great. I really, really like this. I feel very protected with this. I also use a dangler as well, but this is just nicer to have underneath for the extra protection there. My only actual complaints about this is the material on this neck guard is not the softest, and it kind of rubs on the bottom of your neck, especially if you're just shaven recently. So that's kind of annoying. I wish it was just the normal blue backing like on here, and I think that would be a little bit more comfortable, but again, that's me just kind of nitpicking. That's a very minimal thing. So one thing about this chest that I actually really liked is the shoulders. While it's a big chest, it's not a super square chest, and there's certain brands, Passau does this a lot, where their shoulders are so square that it looks like someone's a robot, and I wasn't looking for that. I don't want maximum coverage, I want just protection. So while these are pretty big, it's all bulk for actual padding. I don't feel it's really any excess like on your shoulders out here that doesn't need to be there, so I really like that. It's constructed, forgot to mention this earlier, it is constructed of foams and plastic, so they have plastic layers over top of everything for the longer lifespan and more protection, according to Brown. When I bought this, he asked if I really wanted the Russian spec. He said it's not really necessary for most people, but because I was looking for the most protection possible, I do face some people who have played pros before or who play in junior. People have really hard shots. I wanted the best I could get, and got this right with this. So one of the things I guess I'll move on to is the arms. So the arms have a pretty interesting makeup, if you see here, with the different floaters and plastic. I really like how this does. It doesn't actually get caught up with anything. The arms aren't the most mobile things by any means, and I'll get to that more in a second as well. But they're super thick on the forearms and up here, and because these are all measured to your size, everything fit me perfectly. I slipped them on with my gloves, had no issues with my gloves being pushed down or anything. They just worked wonderfully. Now I've taken slap shots to all parts of the arm and haven't felt a thing, which was a pleasant surprise to my previous experience. but these are considerably less mobile, but again, I don't find they hinder my performance as a goalie, but rather just other things. So for example, putting a mask on is hard with this because it's hard to reach the clips on the back of your head and pull it forward, but actually stopping pucks, I have no issues with it whatsoever. This elbow floater is actually one piece right here, so it doesn't really bend inwards, and it's pretty solid, so it restricts movement a bit. As you can see, like, there's not a ton of movement here in the arm. I'll do some arm stretches like that when I get to it, when I put it on, but there isn't a ton of arm movement there. So like I said, it's not the most mobile thing, but it's the most protective thing. But I'm okay, again, I'm okay with that. It doesn't restrict my playing ability at all. And actually, since I've been wearing this, I found I've been making more saves with this than I have before. I do think my performance has increased, partially because of how protective it is, and also because of how thick it is in terms of padding. Things don't just slip through anymore by bouncing off like my actual body. My old chest, it had two tiny flaps, which were about the equivalent to the thickness of this right here, on the side right here. So if a puck hit that, it would hit this with no protection, hit your body, and just go straight in. With these, you actually have padding, which is nice, so it's easier to squeeze that off. The arms, because they're so nice and square, you can really squeeze your body tight like this, and it does a really good job. Kind of a blocking goalie because of my size, and that comes in to play there a lot very well. With the shoulders too, there's been times in the past where I would be scared to shrug because I knew it was going to hurt the top of my shoulders and collarbone. And like, now I don't have to worry about that. Now I'm just hoping it doesn't hit me in the head, and I'm hoping it hits the shoulders because of this. I've taken numerous slap shots and hard snap shots right off the shoulders with a big rebound. It's the shoulders, it's going to be a rebound, it's not the chest's fault. And something that looked like it should hurt makes a big noise, and I've had refs come over to me and ask me if I'm okay as I just keep playing anyways. And honestly, I can't even feel them. I know it hit me, I know where it hit me, but there was no pain, there was no issues, didn't sting at all. It was just save made, rebound, play the rebound, that's it. So that's a pretty big testament of how good this thing is when people think I should be in pain after a shot and I don't feel anything at all. So that's basically just the overview of the front. So now I'll move on to the side just to show you things. So hopefully this comes up on the camera pretty good. So again, there's just a side wrap with the buckles and as the back. So the buckles are protected by the wraps so they won't get hit. And as you can see how much this comes out and covers, it really does cover the whole side of your body. There is no plastics here, so it doesn't hurt or get in the way. It's just pretty thick, soft foam. It's really nice in that sense. So yeah, there's been a lot of pucks that get caught here and I catch them in between my arm, or not even just against the post. It'll hit here and I don't have to worry about squeaking in because it's actually a solid chest protector, unlike before. So that's the back for you, and the other side, pretty straightforward. If one thing, I almost wish this had another strap that ran lower and had maybe loops here, which would help me keep this part inwards, again, for my popping out on my pants. I'll show how it pops out when I cut to that video. Again, sorry about referencing that a lot. And so I'll show you the back of the arms themselves. So he asks you what hand your catching hand is, and he does so because there's this piece of material here, which is of either really hard foam or a foam into plastic that is there to protect under your arms, depending on what side you are. So this is my blocker side. So this part is on the outside, because if you're holding like this, chances are you'll get hit on the outside rather than the inside. On the catching glove, it is on the other side, so the inside, because if you hold it like this, chances are you're going to get it right here, so that does a good job of that too. Or out here, inside is going to be where it's going to get hit. So that shows up there. So there is a bunch of straps here to tighten or loosen these. Now I was told by someone that the difference of these is if you tighten them all a lot, it will restrict movement in the arm. If you loosen them, it makes it more flexible. I found it to be partially true. I never touched these until a few days ago when I was testing it out for this video. I just left it how it was, and I found that it was a little tighter, but I don't think it was a big issue. It was more just the straps themselves being tight with this very nice plastic elbow pad basically, and it wasn't like restricting motion. This was more just my arm being restricted through like this piece here. So I loosened it off a little bit, but it's still pretty snug and pretty good. Like this one just pulls the wing in. This keeps this part tight, and then there's two Velcro at the top that actually lace the elbow pad into the arm itself to hold it in place, because it can just be completely taken out. But this elbow pad is very protective. I think I've taken some pucks here somehow and had no issues at all. It's basically bomb proof, and it's fantastic. So I really, really like it. As you can see, all the materials are pretty straightforward. They're not the super futuristic materials, and it does kind of make it heavy. Mostly nylon, some Gen Pro. You can get full custom colors. I just went with stock. I didn't really care if I had any color choices at the time, so that's just what I did, and I like it. But you can do some pretty crazy colors, and they're all up on our Facebook page, so I suggest you check it out. Basically, I spent a lot of money on this. It was over $700 Canadian, and I wanted something that was going to last me and I wouldn't have to search for a new one for, and I believe I found that here, at least for, I'm hoping, over 4 years. But the way it's going right now, I truly believe it will probably be even longer than that. I didn't want to go out and buy a retail chest and then in 2 years say, okay, well, my shoulders are starting to hurt, I have to buy something else. I just wanted to buy one and be done with, and I think I have that. So I'm going to cut to the fitting video, and then once I do that, I'll come back and do a small conclusion for that. Alright, so here is what the chest looks like when it's on. Now, as you can see, I tuck in suspenders up. One thing I forgot to mention before, and I want to mention in this, is there's actually even plastic pieces on the outside right here that goes all the way up and is on the back right here. Just extra protection to make sure you're fully covered. I like that. Has like the normal part right here, and then on the side, just a nice piece there. But anyways, as you can see, this is the size. The range of arm motion isn't. You can move, but it is limited. This way the design is made. It's hard to go like up behind my head. It's a real struggle, partially because of the wings, but it is what it is. The side, hopefully you can see how great the side protection is. So I'm in the reverse VH. I don't have to worry about this at all. Just hits there, and I'm all good. And pucks can hit that hard, and I can't feel anything. Again, goes for the other side, and everything about this is like really nice. Like I said, it does squeeze the arms really good, so blocking, let's go down like that, and makes it good coverage. So the one thing that is the issue of this for me is when I'm scrambling, and sometimes so far in the reverse VH, the sides pop up, as you can see, so they kind of just pop out like so. And it's kind of frustrating. I have to slide them back in during play, and it's slightly annoying. It's not a deal breaker by all means, but I just really wish it would stay in. I was actually looking for pants with higher sides because I saw what Bobrovsky wears, and they come higher up. So I was looking for that, but just decided to tighten my suspenders up and just push back in when it's done. So maybe if I didn't get if I got the length added a bit, and just like the saying I was untucking it, maybe that would stay in better. But again, it's very minimal. I don't ever feel unsafe with it. It's just kind of annoying because it like flops out. But that is it. And I'll just spin around to show you what the back looks like just on me, and that will be it. So there you go. So in conclusion for this is the most money. This is almost the most money I spent on any piece of equipment. It was much more money than I would have gone if I went retail. And I think it was worth it. I think the investment was 100% worth it. I don't fear getting hurt anymore, or even feeling anything, getting bruises. This is so well made. You can tell they put a lot of, they really love doing what he does. It's a passion. You can tell that in just how he talks to you and what he talks about. So I really appreciate that. There are some downfalls in terms of weight and how hot it runs. But for me, that's acceptable to get the level of protection that this thing has in it and what it seems like the durability this thing has in it. The hard thing about recommending this is you can't really go try one on and see if it will be your thing. You kind of just have to order blind. And that was the risk that I took after searching for 6 years, but I couldn't be happier with it. This is like my cherished piece right now that I know I'm not going to move from in a while. And yeah, I don't know if I can give it more praise than that. I really, really like this chest. I've played some of my best hockey wearing it, making some good saves with like catching pucks that would normally slide through and just being like the better goalie without having to worry about getting hurt or feeling anything. Like this really has improved my game. Like I said, the mobility in the heat is kind of tough. Like it's not tough, but it's not, the weight and the heat is kind of rough in terms of other brands, but it's a trade-off and I was willing to take it. It did take a few games to get used to, just because it was bigger than what I'm used to in terms of actual protection and having pieces around it, that I did kind of feel like a stiff upper body and would lose my balance a bit. I've adjusted to it very well now and it feels like second nature now. So that's basically it. Like I can't recommend this enough. I know the price is very high, so if you're not willing to spend that, it's tough for me to say get one of these. I can't really comment on how good the lower level ones of these are. So not the lower level, but the one without the Russian spec, because I haven't used it. But at the same time, this one is so good that it's, yeah, I'm so thrilled that I bought it, and I really hope like other people will find out about brown and make it an option. One of the things I really liked about this company too is I flat out asked Brown how many of these Bobrovsky goes through in a year, and he gave me an answer. He said about 2 or 3 depending on how many games he plays. Now I really like the honesty of that. I know other companies have kind of made statements of saying, oh, well, last whatever, it's just a stock retail unit, and let's be real, it's not. If this thing is beefed up compared to what Brown normally makes, you can bet the CCMs are beefed up from what you can get at stores. So I would definitely take a look at Brown. Thanks for watching my video. Hopefully this gives you some insight in this chest protector and why I like it so much. Please check out the written review at hockeyreviews.ca. It's really in-depth and gives you all the reasons why I bought this. Like I said, it was like a 6-year process. And also, I hate to promote myself in this way, but please like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter. I don't like telling people to do that, but it's come to my attention that having subscribers and a Twitter following base helps me get equipment to do these reviews. I can't afford to buy stuff all the time. Like I won't buy another chest protector for years. That's why I got this one. But it will help me in the future, and it's clearly something I like doing, reviewing this stuff. So if you don't mind, please do that and just help me out there. But again, thank you for watching. Leave a comment below and check out the discussions too that I'll post. There should be some on Reddit, Mod Squad, Goalie Crease. So check out those. Just people might have comments, that way I can answer them. And thank you very much, and have a good day.